All right, I think we are live. Welcome to today's Q&A, you guys. Appreciate you hopping on and joining me here. My name is Jessie, first of all, and we are going to talk about available positions here at Decker and answer some of your questions that you might have, whether it be around benefits or equipment or available positions or orientation or anything like that. So welcome to today's Q&A. We go live every Tuesday at noon Central so that we can answer these questions for you and leave you without those questions. So you know what you're doing when you come aboard to Decker. So again, my name is Jessie. If you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. Let's answer those. Let's take care of it, and let's get started. To kind of give you an update on what's going on here at Decker, of obviously coming through the Christmas season, the holiday season, we have, this year, we are participating in the first time in Wreaths Across America, which is a pretty exciting opportunity for us. If you're not familiar with what Wreaths Across America is, it is, they're volunteers who, in this case, Lyle Turville, who is one of our professional drivers here at Decker, a man of many accolades. He's a great professional driver who has not only won, he's a veteran, first and foremost. He is a veteran. He has won many championships, I think the three that he's participated in for Montana Trucking Association or Truck Driver Championships. And then he went on to compete at the national level as well. He's also earned Driver of the Month through the Montana Trucking Association and MTD. So, I mean, that's just to name a few. Obviously, he's won several awards. Decker, he was nominated by Decker for the Iowa Motor Truck Association Master Truck Driver Award as well this year. So yeah, just a few things. But Lyle has volunteered to go pick up, and which he has over the weekend, he picked up a number of veteran wreaths, and he's taking those wreaths from Maine over to Iowa, where they will be distributed on veterans' graves. So this is a volunteer association, the Wreaths Across America, and we are able to partner with them and be part of this, which is pretty exciting. But yeah, this is our first year. He arrives today, I believe, in Iowa, and we'll start delivering them tomorrow, Wednesday. If you get a chance and you can go check out his journey or some of the stops along the way, we will continue to update our Facebook with just pictures of his journey. So it's pretty exciting. Yeah, he picked him up in Columbia, Maine, or over the weekend, and then he'll start in Ames tomorrow delivering those. So very cool. Yeah, we get to be part of that. Speaking of Christmas season, and then we also recently were part of the Santa Cops as well, where you pair a cop with some of the children in the community, and they get to go pick out gifts for themselves, for others, and it tends to be a bigger deal for them when they get to choose a gift for somebody else. I guess that's a pretty big deal. So, pretty cool. Danny, how are you? Danny says, hello from Texas. Tom, awesome. Lyle, what does that say? Lyle, and some part of it's getting cut off here on my screen. Does that mean that you also had a chance? Oh, there he goes. Is Santa's helper? Yes, he indeed is. Sorry, Danny, half of this was cut off until it bumped up. Yeah, definitely Santa's helper. Oh, actually, one of many. There are quite a few professional drivers who have volunteered to do Wreaths Across America. You can learn more about that too by going to their website, Wreaths Across America. There's quite a bit of information and some really cool videos of journeys as well. So we'll have fun with that. But recognizing, basically, you get to pick out the tree. The family gets to pick out the tree that the wreath comes from, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So, still talking on the holiday season, we have the Lights at Kennedy, which is something that we've been participating in for the last several years. I don't even know how many years, to be honest with you, but last several years, Lights at Kennedy, and our display is up and shining bright. So please go check it out if you're in the Fort Dodge area. You can vote on it. You can vote for ours. It's cool. It's a beautiful display that a lot of our grounds crew had put together. Shout out to Katie as well, Katie and Tammy for working on that along with Eddie and the crew. But what it is it's a light show that you can drive through. So it's like a parade that you drive through instead of the other way around. Like a parade of lights that you drive through. So last weekend, 8th through the 10th, was the opening of it, the grand opening of it. And it runs from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then we'll do it again this weekend from the 15th through the 17th. And then again from the 22nd to the 23rd. So you're free, but you'll get to go in and donate. And the donations basically are there to support the maintenance and improvements to all of the lights as well. Yeah. Katie says vote. By the way, Katie is behind the Decker Truck Line logo there in the chat. So if you have any questions while I'm answering them, she'll be there as well supporting. But she says vote for our lights at the Kennedy display in Fort Dodge. Thank you, Eddie and his crew, for building our light display on a flatbed. Yeah, beautiful light display. Frozen is the theme for us. So very, very, very pretty. What else can I tell you? I think as far as holiday messages, I think that's where we're sitting for right now. Let's dive into some of these available positions that we have here at Decker. We do have a local flatbed option or opportunity in Bessemer, Alabama. So first of all, if you're not familiar with Decker, we are located, our main terminal is in Fort Dodge, Iowa. We also have a terminal in Bessemer, Alabama, and Missoula, Montana, Hammond, Indiana. We have a shop in Des Moines, and then we have a terminal in Sperry, Minneapolis as well. So we are very heavily equipped in the Iowa area, the Mid-Central, but we also obviously expand beyond that. Bessemer, Alabama is a flatbed terminal for us, and we do have a local flatbed opportunity there. We do require that you have at least 5 years of experience for this local person or this local position. So if you have questions, you're going to see this number flying across the screen here. It's 877-433-2537. You can go ahead and give us a call. It goes to our recruiters that they'll be able to answer your questions based off of, where you live, what experience you have, all that good stuff, and they'll be even more specific to that. Sound good? Okay, so yes, 877-433-2537. If you're listening and you hear about a position that you're interested in, you can also apply directly at drivedecker.com, get the application going, have the recruiter start working and processing your app to get you approved. Cool? All right, so 5 years of experience for this position. In order to qualify, not only do you need the 5 years of experience, but no major moving violations in the last 3 years, no DOT recordable accidents in the last 3 years. And of course, the number of jobs that you have, we do take into consideration because we are looking for somebody for the long term. We are looking to take care of you and looking for to be reciprocated. So yeah, absolutely looking for the right person for the position. This is a lot of tarping and securing, so that's why we ask that you have 5 years of experience. We'll do a lot of building supplies, lumber, steel beams, coils, wallboard, so sheetrock, a lot of that type of supplies. We don't do step deck, really. We don't do oversized a whole lot. We're basically flatbed, 48-foot for the most part. So running a lot. Now, even though this is a local position, it is paid hourly. And again, it's based off of your experience level, what the pay is, and we require a minimum of 5 years. Now, also, we have home weekly options out of this area. So if you are looking for a home weekly option, then Birmingham, Atlanta, those are all areas that we can get you home on a weekly basis. And what I'm saying for flatbed is you're usually coming home on like a Friday night or a Saturday morning and then back out either Sunday night or Monday morning, usually for an early Monday morning delivery. That's pretty common for us. So that's what we have available out of the Birmingham area, Birmingham, Alabama, or Atlanta, Georgia area for flatbed home weekly. That doesn't mean that's the only thing we have out of there, but that is a home weekly option. And again, a lot of tarping and securing. We do pay tarp. We do have securement pay per load. In addition to that, we have the minimum pay. So our minimum pay is basically, it is like a safety net for you. You qualify for the minimum pay, and you either get that minimum pay or you get the rate of pay per mile based off of your experience level. The rate of pay per mile is based off of how much experience you have, and then of course the miles that you run. Now, if that exceeds what the minimum pay is, which is most likely, but if that does, then you'll get the better of the two. So either way, you'll get the better of the two. And again, the home weekly in that flatbed division, anywhere from the northeast Mississippi area down into Alabama over to the Carolinas. And it's going to keep you... We don't hire east of 95 right now in that position for that home weekly. But again, if you have questions on it, reach out to us, 877-433-2537, and you'll get to visit with one of the recruiters on the specifics on that for home time and everything. So, excellent. Now we also, for running lanes, even though those are home weekly in Alabama and Georgia, and some of the Carolinas, please keep in mind that you're still running a lot of the Midwest. So if you don't have any snow experience or don't know how to throw chains or have questions on that, feel free to talk to somebody during training. We do provide that training. We also have that training available to you on our YouTube channel that you can search as well. But you're going to be running a lot of the Midwest. So the only exception to that is that local position out of Bessemer that's available right now. Otherwise, even in the home weekly options, as well as our over the road, the Midwest is a very heavy freight area for us. So you'll run the Southeast, head up to the Midwest, probably 2 to 3 times a week, depending on how often you're scheduled to be home. So Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, like the St. Louis area, those are really busy freight lanes for us for the flatbed division. Now for the refrigerated, we have quite a bit of freight, not only in the Midwest, but we also have it out in the West. Washington is a great spot for us, the Portland area. We have a terminal in Missoula, Montana, so we're headed through there. We have a shop there as well, fully functioning. We have the whole shebang there as well. Fort Dodge being our main terminal, we have the body shop and everything in Fort Dodge. We have the welcome center. We have most of our dispatch and training. All orientation is in Fort Dodge. So yeah, again, that's in Iowa. So there's a lot of freight, mostly west of the Mississippi for our over-the-road refrigerated division, but we still run into, I know we run into southern New York around the Buffalo area, south of there. We'll run into there. But hiring-wise, real heavy in Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, north of 80 in Illinois, Indiana. Ohio, the state of Ohio is a great spot for us. Missouri into Springfield, up north into Kansas City is very good for our refrigerated division. And then of course, southern Minnesota, southern Wisconsin, also great, up into Green Bay even. So if you have questions, please reach out to our recruiting department, 877-433-2537. Qualifications for these. We do require that you have a minimum of 6 months of experience. Now, if you are a recent graduate of an approved school, we can train in our Midwest flatbed, our over-the-road, and our regional refrigerated. So we have options for training. Our over-the-road flatbed does require at least 6 months of flatbed experience or a year of tractor-trailer experience before we can train you. Now, again, the exception is that home weekly option, the exception is the home daily option, that local position out of Bessemer, which does require 5 years of experience. When it comes to additional qualifications, we ask that you don't have any major moving violations, no DOT recordable accidents in the last 3 years. We do hire as young as 21 years of age with a valid Class A CDL, of course. So with 6 months of experience, you don't have to go with a trainer. You do have a 3-day orientation in Fort Dodge. We'll take care of your transportation here. We'll take care of your meals. We'll also take care of the gas to get you here. Because normally what we do is we'll get you a rental car into Fort Dodge. We take care of your hotel and your meals. And we do pay you the $500 for completing orientation as well. And we don't shack you up with anybody. These are solo rooms at the hotel, so you have a little bit of space to unwind. And if you have additional questions, or if you want to do more studying, you have your own space to do so. Before you even come to orientation, once you're approved, so the recruiters will go through qualifying questions with you on the phone, make sure that you have all of the details about the position, running lanes, equipment, benefits, home time, all of those things that are relevant, or, they got to check your list, right? Making sure that your expectations and our expectations align is basically what I'm saying. So once they've done that and it looks like we're going to be a good fit, then what they'll do is the recruiters will go ahead and start processing your application. And that's getting employment verifications and running your reports. And that's usually a pretty quick process. But with the employment verifications, especially if it's a smaller company, if they don't update it in the DOT system, then we'll need to get those verifications directly from the company. That's DOT required. So if the previous company that you worked for, if they don't get back to us right away, that could delay the hiring process. So that's why we say if you have other ways to verify employment, that's really helpful. It's a recent question that I had yesterday is if my company is not getting back to Decker for the employment verification, what can I do? W-2s, 1099s, pay stubs, those will all be helpful. Ideally, we can get the verification from your previous company, but they do have 30 days to get back to us. We will be diligent on it. We always are. And we'll contact them at least once a day, if not multiple times, if they're not responding to us at all. So that we can get that back and we can get you going, so you don't have to sit there in limbo. Once we've got the employment verifications and you meet all of the criteria for the position, then we'll send out the online orientation. We use a platform called eNugget Learning, so Luma, and we use that for our education platform in learning some of the company policies and procedures and really giving you the chance to get to know Decker ahead of time. Even a little bit of history on the company, brief history on the company. Now, we've been around since 1931, so it's been a while, but we won't go year by year. We'll definitely give you an overview on that. What you'll see, though, on the online orientation, so before you even come to Fort Dodge, you'll see a number of a video followed by a couple of questions, another video with questions, and so forth, until you get through that process. So it does take a little bit of time, but it's nice to get that done ahead of time because it cuts off being able to do that ahead of time instead of in class cuts off a couple of days of orientation. So it's a significant change for you, and you can go at your own pace. You don't have to worry. And then, of course, we can address questions when you're here because we'll still have other stuff to go through during orientation, like different departments, different processes and procedures, so that you are familiar with them before you go back out on the road. Also, before you come to orientation, we do your physical and your urinalysis. Now, your physical, if you currently have a physical that's good for another 6+ months, I almost said years, 6+ months, we could probably just use that one. You'll need to send over your long form over to the recruiting department, and they'll be able to, sorry, I could feel that coming out. They'll be able to get that approved with the personnel department. So all you need to do is send over your long form, and as long as you've had it for at least 6 months and it's good for another 6 months, then you should just be fine. And then you won't have to redo it. We'll just schedule you for your urinalysis, which obviously we have to do when you hire on. So we have to do that no matter what. And we'll make it as convenient as possible for you. We'll get it scheduled so that you can go and do it before you come to orientation. When you're in orientation, however, we do have the hair follicle, as well as the driving test, as well as, like I said, going through additional company policies and procedures, meeting up with the maintenance department and going through a checklist there of the equipment and what all of the amenities we have, learning the fuel system, the fuel routing system, and our communication through our TransFlow Geotab system. Speaking of TransFlow Geotab, that's in all of our trucks. It is the communication, your ELD, your hours of service is all available on there, your communication to your driver manager, all of that is right there on that tablet in the truck. You can also, that's how you get your paperwork in to the payroll department as well. You take a picture of each of the pages, and then of course make sure one is signed, and get that into payroll by Tuesday night, so tonight, at 10 p.m., and then you'll get paid Friday for it. Now, that being said, we have a lot of amenities. Those are not the only amenities that we have in the truck. We have APUs and refrigerators and microwaves and 22-inch television with company-paid satellite TV. 100 plus channels, and yes, the Sunday ticket is part of that. We have Sirius Radio available in all the trucks. You do need to hold the subscription for the Sirius Radio, but we have free Wi-Fi, so I do see that a lot of people are streaming streaming music instead of using the Sirius Radio. Totally up to you. That's your choice, but it's all available. We do have both inward and outward facing event recorders, part of our Lytx system. It is not a live feed, but we do have both inward and outward. We have BestPass, we have DriveWise, we do allow a rider policy, so ages 10 and up. For the rider policy is $25 a month. And we also have a dog policy. Our dog policy is for non-aggressive breeds, 85 pounds or less for one dog, no more than 60 pounds combined if you're going to have two dogs. So we have that option as well. And what am I missing? Benefits galore. They're available after 60 days. Top of the line equipment and amenities, absolutely. Yeah, our trucks are newer model. Average age is about 18 months, and they come with all of those amenities that I mentioned. All of our trucks do. They're double bunk. There's an inverter. I don't know if I mentioned that, but there is an inverter in the trucks as well. So if you use like an air fryer or a crock pot, just plug that sucker in. What else can I tell you about that? They're really nice trucks. Most of them are the 579 Peterbilts. We also have some Freightliner Cascadia Evolutions and some Volvos. So the majority are Peterbilts, then a couple of Volvos, and then a few Freightliners. But like more than 95% are Peterbilts. Yep. Minimum pay, good call. So the minimum pay is available to most of our divisions, and it's based on the position that you're applying for. So if you're home weekly and flatbed, you have one minimum pay option. If you're over the road, you have another. Same with refrigerated. With the minimum pay, that is like your safety net. That you know you're going to get at least that amount. And the minimum pay is a gross amount. So you still have your taxes and insurance and stuff taken out of those. But that is what you can budget off of. If your rate of pay per mile and the miles that you run exceed your minimum pay, which is most likely, then you'll get the better of the two. You'll be getting your mileage pay. But we have that safety net for you for whatever could happen. Now, let's talk about what it takes to qualify for that minimum pay. You need to be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. No load refusals. No driver service failures, so no late loads. No CSA violations for the week. No preventable accidents for the week. And get your paperwork in on time. Easy enough, right? Right. Okay. This was a question that I got multiple times yesterday, and so I just wanted to clear this up because I think at first it wasn't clear, but now when I was talking to David yesterday, he definitely understood where I was going with the cutoff. So let's back up instead of being vague. Let's be more specific here. With the home time, with our minimum pay, it's 5 days, 5 days on the road, right? So that's one of the requirements, be available 5 days out of the week. Our week is Wednesday to Tuesday. So you need to be available at least 5 days out of those week. In flatbed, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's pretty common. I mean, flatbed, you're usually Monday through Friday. Usually coming home on a Friday. If you're home weekly, usually coming home on like a Friday night or a Saturday morning. If you're every other, it's coming home every other Friday night or Saturday morning, leaving back out on a Monday morning. So that's pretty common for flatbed. For refrigerated, that can deliver throughout the week. So as long as you're available 5 days out of the week, it doesn't have to be a specific day, but like, let me be more specific. We only have a few positions that are 5 days out and then home for 2. We're a limited area for that. To give you an idea, it would be, and I'm going to bring it up here so make sure that I am very accurate. I think I have a visual for you. Give me a second. Wait for it. Is this it? No. Nope. All right. Just kidding. I thought I put an intro for you guys, but I will. Let's just show you this. This might be a better, like an okay example for you, I guess. With the refrigerated division, what you're seeing here, everything is in yellow is basically our running lanes. That's our running lanes. Everything in red is our hiring area. Now, keeping that in mind, our hiring area for our home weekly is basically all of Iowa and part of the eastern part of Nebraska, Kansas, so the borderline there. Omaha, Lincoln, Kansas City, we can get you home weekly in those areas. Okay, and when I'm saying home weekly, I mean we can get you home every 5 days or even every 7 days and then home for 2. We can also do that in the Chicago area, Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Columbus, Ohio. But the rest of it is over the road. So where I'm going with that is if you are out 5 days at a time, so if you happen to be in Iowa, and since that's an area that we do offer the home weekly, if you're in Iowa, then we can get you home every 5 days. Those 5 days might be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? And then you'll have Monday, Tuesday at home. That could be an option. Now, if you're over the road, then you need to be available 5 days out of the week, right? Now, say you're out 2 weeks at a time and you want to take advantage of your 3 to 4 days home. Because we figure for every 7 days you're out, it's a day and a half home time. So if you're out for 2 weeks, you're going to get at least your 3 days home, right? You'll want to come home on a Monday or a Tuesday so you can take advantage of your full home time. Because our cutoff is Tuesday night, right? So you'll kind of want to straddle that cutoff date in order to make sure that you've got 1 day, at least 1 day, on one pay period and one to 2 days on the other pay period. That way you have 5 available days or 5 working days in each pay period. That's how you qualify for the minimum pay. It's a question that I get asked every once in a while. A lot of people, that's just their rotation, so it's pretty normal. But others, if you're trying to be home on a weekend, refrigerated doesn't always allow for that. But we can still get you the minimum pay as long as you're available at least 5 days out of the week. So there you go. Very clever, the map highlighter in red and yellow. Yes, see, there you go. I got to do it in Decker colors. Good to see you, George. Danny says, how many hours per day should I expect to drive? 8 to 10, regional reefer. I'm new to the business, still asking questions. So you can drive 11, right? It depends because let's see, did you say regional? Regional refrigerator. Okay. It does depend. Some days you might have 8 to 10, and other days you're pushing that 11 pretty heavily. So it just depends on the load that you're on. Some of the loads are tighter. You're picking up in the afternoon, 2 to 4 in the afternoon, and you're delivering early in the morning. So you've got to pick up and go. Like, for instance, if you're picking up a load of meat and they're loading that in the afternoon and you have to have that delivered by, maybe it's an unload at 2 a.m. and that's in Chicago, then, obviously you're driving during that time, during nights. So that's not uncommon, especially for regional, because those are areas that you'd see quite a bit. But I would say 8 to 11 is what you can expect. That said, some days you might be waiting to be loaded, and maybe there is a little bit more downtime on that day. So that's a really good question, by the way. Hey, Nick, how are you? Hello. It's been a while since you've been on. You're welcome, Danny. I appreciate it. With the refrigerated, I just want to reiterate one more time. Refrigerated does drive night, and flatbed does too, but refrigerated definitely drives night because so many of those are live loads and unloads. It's about 60% of the freight that is, I need to double check that percentage too, by the way. But I believe it's 60% of the freight in the Midwest are preloaded trailers. The rest, so the other 40%, are live loads. So it's a pretty decent percentage of live loads in the Midwest. But yeah. So that's going to cause some night driving. And we do like to utilize your clock as much as possible to keep you getting the miles and everything. But with some of the live loads, some of the live loads may take some of those hours away from you. I was trying to think of what else when it comes to the live loads, how to prepare you. Utilizing, where to park and time management. If those are things that you're learning, visiting with some of our veteran drivers can be extremely helpful. We do have a Facebook group. Our drivers have a Facebook group that questions will be popping up on there asking, okay, so this is my situation. What's the best way to handle it? And there's a lot of guys that have been in there that can help you better manage your time if that's an area that you're struggling with or unsure of. Maybe it's not a struggle, but you just want to make sure that you're doing the best you can. It's a good group to be part of, and they're very helpful. Helpful to me. I appreciate them. But yeah. Benefits start after 60 days. Blue Cross in medical, dental, vision, prescription. Prescription is awesome. It's no cost or there's $0 copay is what it is. $0 copay on generic and now brand name. So that's new and it's spectacular. Very awesome. Steve told me last week, and I think I mentioned this last week as well, he saves $1,800, no lie, $1,800 on one prescription every month. One prescription, $1,800. It's just mind-blowing. Awesome. So yes, we do have great benefits. We have a 50% match on the 401k, company paid life insurance, paid vacation. Vacation, you get 5 days vacation after 6 months. You also get another 5 days after a year. So you'll get year 1 and 2, you'll get an additional 5 days. And then on years 3 through 6, you'll get 10 days of vacation, paid vacation, and you'll get 15 days after from 7 on up for 7+ years of experience. Now that vacation pay is based off of your earnings as like with your bonuses and all of that. Those are all included within the payout of your earnings. So if you have questions on it, reach out to your driver manager. They can get with payroll to get specifics on what you can expect for your pay. But yeah, all available through Decker. So if you guys have questions and you want to start, if you want to speak to a recruiter, then please reach out to them at 877-433-2537, and we'll have them either go through the available positions for you or answer specific questions based off of what you're looking for. Unless you're just like, I'm kind of curious what you have. We also will reach out directly to you if you apply online at drivedecker.com. And if you're not sure what we have available, honestly, the best thing to do is to talk to a recruiter ahead of time so that you know. And then when you apply, you'll make sure that you've got everything in order and that you know what position fits you best, what available position fits you best. Sound good? Speaking of available position, besides the over-the-road and regional refrigerated and flatbed positions, the home daily position out of Bessemer, Alabama, we also have a home daily position. We have 2 home daily positions out of Fort Dodge, Iowa. So you do need to live within a 25-mile radius of Fort Dodge for this position. It's a hopper position. So not refrigerated, not flatbed, it's hopper. It is moving grain from Fort Dodge, Iowa to Blair, Nebraska. One of them starts at 6 a.m., the other one starts at 5:30 p.m. So again, if you live in the Fort Dodge, Iowa area, pretty darn close to it, then give us a call, 877-433-2537. There you go. All right. Well, we will be back on our YouTube Live, our weekly live, next Tuesday at noon Central. If you have more questions, make sure you reach out to us here in the chat. We'll be continuing to respond to that, as well as reaching out to us on Facebook. Facebook.com/DetailInc. We go live every Monday at 4 p.m. Central to answer questions. Plus, we give you a lot of behind the scenes on what's going on at Decker, especially on our Facebook page. So please follow us on there. All right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your week and rest of your day. And if you're going to call a recruiter, please reach them at 877-433-2537. Otherwise, we will see you next week. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.